This is Neutral Ice.
By day, he's a house pet. When the sun goes down, it's time to hit the streets.
Nick Lippa
Is a cat burglar.
Buffalo's best hockey show every Monday night.
Neighbors like 5-year-old
Joe DiBiase,
know him by his alias.
Brayton Wilson,
Neighbors are on guard, but his victims don't intend to file police reports. They go to
Chris Kowalchuk, and Derek Kramer.
In the past 3 years, they figure he's stolen about 600 items, and he's not choosy. He'll take anything that's not locked down. He especially likes bathing suits drying outside. He stole
Frank Arcuri's.
Bikini Bottom.
Now, here are your hosts, Nick Lippa and Jack Sullivan.
It's getting dark now. The question is, which house? It's a perfect night for a heist.
On Buffalo's original alternative, 91.3 FM, WBNY.
91.3 FM WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982, brought to you by the Buffalo State College Student Activity Fee. Frank Arcuri, Brayton Wilson here, Neutral Ice. Unfortunately, no Joe DiBiase. Hopefully he comes in later. Derek Kramer not here as well, but he's expected to call in. I have no idea when, but we'll expect that a little bit later. Brayton, free agent frenzy is pretty much come and gone. Buffalo Sabres development camp started today. We were there.
Yes.
Derek Kramer. I was with Derek Kramer earlier today as well, and we mentioned a little bit on the Blitz of some players that we liked. So get right into it.
Yeah.
Who are your standouts besides Jack Eichel? We know what he's gonna do. Reinhart.
Duh.
We know what Reinhart's
Also,
gonna do.
duh.
But anybody else that kind of like caught your eye?
Well, there were a few guys that caught my eye from both sessions, really.
Yeah.
We'll start with the first session that really incorporated a really good crop of talent. The three that I wrote down, I actually wrote down four, but the three that are actually like in the Sabres system.
Yeah.
Matt Garbowski from Rochester, RIT, just signed right after RIT finished their season in the NCAA tournament. Vaclav Karabacek, I thought, was very good today.
Yeah.
And also Giorgio Estefan was very good.
Yes, okay.
Giorgio Estefan, I like to call him the Italian Stallion because it just sounds like a name that you would.
That sounds fitting.
Exactly.
Right.
Garbowski looked very good on the ice. He was skating very well. He was shooting the puck very well, playing the puck very well. He definitely showed a lot of zest out on the ice. That's what I like to describe it as, zest.
Okay.
He was very flashy. I think that he was definitely one of the better players in the first session. Vaclav Karabacek was very impressive. Last year when he was at the development camp, I was a little unsure of him, thinking maybe he was, not going to pan out, but he definitely showed that he's got some very good talent. He can skate very well.
Yeah.
He's got a really good shot. He goes to the net very hard.
Yeah.
And then Giorgio Estefan had some really flashy goals. I mean, he was drafted from Lethbridge in the Western Hockey League, which Lethbridge, they've been a very bad hockey team, but Giorgio Estefan has probably been one of their best players over the past probably 5 years that they've been in the Western Hockey League. So I think Buffalo got a real nice steal out of him.
When did you say they get him? They got him?
They got him this year in the sixth round.
Sixth round, okay, yeah. If he's definitely one of their best players. I definitely see where you're going at. One of the best players in like 5 years, and like that would be a nice steal there, a 6th round pick.
Yeah, and then the other guy that I really, really liked out of the first session is a camp invite. Yeah. Josh Sturck. He played with Oshawa in London this past year in the Ontario Hockey League. He's 5'11", 175 pounds, but he had a few chances to play a couple of drills with Jack Eichel, which would definitely help, and it clearly showed that he benefited from that, and it could show that Jack Eichel can make players around him better. But even when he was away from Eichel, he just looked fast out there. He looked really good with the puck. I was very impressed with him, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this camp goes for these guys that are trying to make a name for themselves in these
Yeah.
development camps. I mean, another name that was good in the first session was Ryan Verbeek from the Kingston Frontenacs. Not the stats weren't really that great this year for Verbeek, but I mean,
Kingston was.
he skates pretty well.
Yeah, he was a
Kingston
good
wasn't
skater.
exactly the greatest as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that the first session was very good for the Sabres, and even the
Was very
second
good.
session was pretty good.
Yeah. A couple of guys too that I like to mention that are from the first session too. Our second round pick, Brendan Gould.
Yes, Brendan Gooley. Yep.
Gooley, yeah, I really liked what he brought. I said it earlier too on Neutralize as well. He's going to be a work in progress, but if we can develop him right, he's going to be a guy you can lean on.
The one thing about Brendan Gooley that makes him very good is he's a very, very efficient skater.
Yes,
Very efficient.
I really like his skating.
He keeps his stride. He doesn't have too long of strides, or
Yeah.
he's not too short. His skating's very even.
It's very smooth.
Yes, very, very smooth. That's probably his strong point of his game. He loves to hit, but we haven't seen that much yet. Because they haven't really gotten physical yet. They probably won't
yet.
even get physical
No.
until the scrimmage on Friday.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the scrimmage on Friday is from the First Niagara Center. Tickets are $10 if people want to go to the scrimmage. I don't remember what cause it's going to, but the $10 per ticket is going to a good cause that the Sabres are donating to. So it should be a fun event too.
It's always a fun event.
Honestly, last year I want to say they were close to selling out the development camp. I was there too.
I was there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to go again.
I'm definitely gonna try and.
I'm expecting Jack Eichel to score 7 goals, or else he's a bust.
And I'm expecting Sam Reinhart to have at least 8 assists.
Yes,
Or else he's a bust.
yeah. But I mean, it's that first group that was out there today was really, really good. But the second group was even almost just as good.
Yeah.
Exactly. One guy that really, really I was happy to see carry over from his development camp from last year was Max Willman.
Yeah.
Max Willman last year came in a little small. He was probably about 5'10", 5'11", 5'11", at the draft. He goes to Brown University right now, and he has grown a little bit. He has gotten a little bigger in size.
Yeah.
He's 6 foot now, and he's 190 pounds, and I believe last year he was somewhere around 5'10", 5'11", probably 165, 170 pounds. This year he didn't put up the greatest of stats. He only had a goal and 2 assists, playing 30 games.
Yeah.
But you could definitely see the potential is there with Max Willman. He's a great skater. He's fast. He's got a beautiful release. Beautiful, beautiful release. I mean, a couple of times today, he was putting him top shelf. He's a left-handed shot. He's American too.
Gotta love the Americans.
Yes, I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing how Max Willman can progress.
Yeah,
once again in the development camp, because last year he was very good. He was one of those underrated players, and I think this year he might be another one of those under the radar guys that not a lot of people pay attention to, but at first they don't pay attention to him, but then by the end they'll know, oh, hey, this Max Willman kid, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
20 years old. He's going to be a sophomore at Brown next year, and I have a feeling he's going to have a little more of a bigger role next year.
Might even have a nice breakout year.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and that's what the Sabres are going to hope for, and I think that's absolutely possible.
Yeah. So Group 2, beside Willman, you mentioned him being in it, you really liked, highlighted by Sam Reinhart, obviously playing with. They had him listed on a line with William Carrier and Hudson Fasching. And Fasching, I really did like seeing him up close.
Fasching was good, showing what he can do. He can crash the net. That's his bread and butter right there. Is right in front of that net.
Exactly what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the greatest of a shot, but I mean, you park him right in front of the net. That's where he wants to be. That's where he needs to be.
Yeah.
You park him there, and he's a good screen.
Yeah.
I mean, he can deflect shots. He can put in rebounds. He's definitely the type of player that other teams are going to hate having him in front of the net.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
He was one of the best players for Team USA at the World Juniors.
He was.
He's 6'2", 207, and there's a reason why Tim Murray acquired him in the Nick Delorier deal with Braden McNabb as well, because his potential is just
it's there.
sky high.
Yeah.
Sky high. He's going to be a junior at the University of Minnesota.
Yep.
Last year, he had 26 points in 38 games, which pretty good. Pretty good for a college student.
The college level.
Yeah,
that's
at the
that's
college
good.
level, it's a lot more difficult playing on a Minnesota team that I would say probably was underachieving a little bit because Minnesota's been
They're
a very
usually
good
a
program.
team that's up there.
And
every
last year they had some good talent on that team, and they just
Yeah.
underachieved a little
Yeah.
bit. I think they just missed the NCAA tournament in the. Actually, no, they made it to
they
the.
made it, but they lost in
Yeah,
the
they
first
lost in the
round.
first round. Yep. Thank you. Because it was down to them in Michigan. Two teams that their logo is the M.
Yeah.
One's just colored burgundy and yellow, and the other one's blue and yellow.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can obviously tell that it can be easy to mix it up. So,
Yeah.
but Hudson Fasching was very good. Another name that I was very impressed with at in the second session was Jean Dupuis, the free
Yeah,
agent
he was the guy I was gonna
signing
mention,
from Sault Ste. Marie in the OHL.
Yeah.
Big guy. He can skate though. He's really got a good stride. Couple of times he was, using the body, protecting the puck. He's 6'3", 194 pounds. He had 46 points in 54 games with Sault Ste. Marie this past year, 18 goals, 28 assists. I think he was hurt a little bit during the playoffs, but in the playoffs in 10 games he had 4 goals. So that's
points.
that's pretty decent. He was a third line left winger often with on the same line as Justin Bailey.
Yeah.
And I was very, very impressed with
I did like
Jean
yeah.
Dupuis
Yeah.
in development camp day one. But again, obviously it's early.
Yeah.
It's
only
early,
been-
and
it's only been day one.
Yeah, exactly. You never know what's going to happen within the next few days.
Yeah.
We might be like, yeah, Jean Dupuis was good day one, and then day 3, it's like, okay, he had a bad day. So
It happens.
I don't know. Yeah.
And then to go off on that too, another guy that I really liked too was Bryson Martin, defenseman that we took in the 2014 draft. I believe it was 3rd or 4th round.
Bryson Martin was a third rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing too, I noticed he got bigger. He got bigger, and his skating looked a lot smoother than what I saw last year. Last year, based on what I remember, his skating it looked like he was taken to either just too short of strides or too long of strides based on his size. He's not a big guy, but this year I saw a lot of smoother skating out of him. A lot more control on his game. A lot of control on basically everything all around. Even his shooting too looked very nice, and he's defenseman out of Swift Current in the WHL.
Yeah, I like Bryson Martin's game. Getting my names mixed up. Bryson Martin, he's very good at skating. His shot can be better.
It can be
Definitely can be better. I'm not much more. I haven't watched much more of Bryson Martin. But
He got traded to Saskatoon Blades.
yes. Yep. So
But you look at his overall numbers of the season, his plus minus wasn't there because when he got traded to Saskatoon, just plus minus just
Saskatoon's
down.
not a good
They
Western
were
Hockey
not
League team.
good.
No,
they're
so
not a good team anyway. But when he played with Swift Current, he had 39 games, 16 points, not that bad. And then he got to Saskatoon, he put up 22 points in 30 games. So his offensive level went up there, but a bit of work on the defensive level. That's all he really needs, and you may see something special out of this kid.
yeah, Martin's going to be a project.
Yeah.
He's going to take this last year Western Hockey League, and then he's going to. He did get the chance to play in Rochester once
He
the
played a
season
couple
was
games.
good. Played a couple of games, was so-so.
Yeah.
So-so. He definitely
But you
showed that
expect
he's a
that.
rookie.
Yeah, you expect that.
Yeah, so I think that this next year will help him out for sure.
Yeah.
And besides that, you hope for the best with him, but again, just a project in the works.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If Bryson Martin does end up peaking, you might see him being on the same level Mark Pesic's at. That's right away. I'm seeing similarities into theirs.
That's
in
a
the
third,
development.
fourth pairing defense. That's a 3-4 defenseman at best for Bryson Martin.
Well, based on what I'm saying,
Right.
is we look at Mark Pesic, we think of his smooth skating. He's
Mm-hmm.
it's a very sound defensive game, and he may not be the guy you notice out there, but you never talk bad about what he does. I think Martin's got the potential where he can be a guy who's similar to that matter. You just never talk about he just doesn't do anything bad. He doesn't make wrong decisions. He makes really good decisions. He's very smooth with his skating.
Mm-hmm.
Good shooting, good awareness on the offensive and defensive part of the game.
Yeah. I didn't notice Bryson Martin too much out there today. Don't know if it was just he didn't do a whole heck of a lot, or if it was just the fact that maybe I was just watching other guys. I have no idea.
Dupuis a lot more.
Oh yeah, I was watching
Dupuis. Reinhardt.
No, the guy who I was watching was here he is. His name is Mason Mitchell. I don't know. Just a name. No, I mean, honestly, there was a lot of players to watch today. There's only so much you can really watch because some players were rushing with others, and I think at one point it was in the second session. I believe it was Sam Reinhart. Actually, no, it might have been the first session. It was like Eichel, Baptiste, Dupuis, and I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there because they were all kind of just scattered everywhere. But it was like four of the guys who you would want to watch all in the same grouping. So it's like, who do I watch? Going one way, going next way, and at some points it was just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna watch one. Oh, they did something good on the other end. Well, I didn't see it. Dang it. So, but it was a good day. It was definitely a good day for the development camp. And if you didn't get the chance to go down there today, don't worry, because there's going to be more sessions all this week. Yeah, and judging on last year's was pretty fun.
Yeah,
because you just get to see all the prospects that the Sabres have, all the new prospects, all the prospects that are returning, all the prospects that have been invited. Last year, the standout invite was Drake Kajulia from the University of North Dakota. He's going to be going into his senior year, so after this year, he'll be an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah,
and I would love if the Sabres signed Kajulia, but
we'll see what happens.
He's got to be available, and I would. And I like Drake Kajulia. Drake Kajulia was probably one of the best offensive players at North Dakota this year. Trying to pull up his stats here. Here we go. Yes, so in his junior year, he had 36 points, 18 goals, 18 assists. He's 5'9", 181 pounds, but his offensive skill just is really what drives his game. So, if Buffalo can somehow snag him an unrestricted free agency, I would be absolutely on board with taking Kajulia and trying to insert him somewhere in the system. He'll probably need some time in the AHL to mold into the professional game, like most. But it's easier for college students, in my opinion, to college hockey players to go from that level to the NHL because it's very similar physical wise.
Yeah.
Speed wise, it could be very similar.
But that's something that players can catch up on.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas with the Canadian Hockey League players or even European players have it tougher because they're playing on international size rinks.
International ice.
They have to adjust to the size of the smaller rinks, and we saw that with Joel Armia when he was here. He definitely needed a full year because everybody was like, "Oh man, God, he's not panning out." He's not. Even Zemgus Girgensons needed a little bit of time to adjust to the professional game.
Yeah, he did.
Even though he was playing in Des Moines, he was playing very well in Des Moines with the fighting with the what's the team name of the USHL? Dubuque Fighting Saints. There we go.
Fighting Saints. Okay.
Yeah. So Dubuque. And then, when he when he had that injury in Rochester, and then when he came back, he showed some signs of, okay, wow, here he comes. This kid's going to be good, and now he's playing in the NHL, and he's pretty good. So I think that
Fans already want him to be the captain.
Yeah, and you just got to let Brian Giunta stay here. I mean, he might be here for the 3 years and then probably retires as Sabre.
I expect that.
I wouldn't see him, going anywhere else.
That's exactly like what I'm expecting.
But would he really retire as a Sabre though?
Would he? I think he would want to.
I mean, I think he would want to, but the fact is like,
the only other thing I could see him do is signing. If he decides
signing
to
a
play,
one-day contract with like the Devils or something, because he won the Stanley Cup with New Jersey.
Yeah, that was that was his team until then he went to Montreal. But he started with New Jersey. He made his career playing there. Unless he decides to play another year in the NHL, he could easily just sign a one-year contract with the Devils, which the Devils would do. They would easily sign him again.
I love the fans that say, well, he wanted, Brian Giunta wanted to come play at Buffalo when he got older. Maybe Patrick Kane will come to Buffalo when he gets older. It's like, shut up.
Just stop.
Just shut up.
Just stop.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Question I have for you about the camp. Who was it that, kind of underachieved or you thought was, disappointing in his first day? If anybody, I got a few names.
One guy I can think of right now is Anthony Florentino. I thought I would see some kind of jump out of him. And he had a very nice season in Providence, and then he ended up winning the national championship over Eichel's BU Terriers, and he scored a goal in that championship game too. So I'm coming into today, and I'm thinking, I wonder if I'm going to see something out of Florentino. See maybe if there was some development from last year out of him. And I just didn't really see anything. I just didn't see it.
I actually liked Florentino today. I thought he
wasn't sure.
I thought he was skating pretty well. Trying to remember who he was paired up.
I might not have been seeing everything, but every time I saw him, I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't see anything from it.
I want to say most of the time Florentino was paired up with Bryson Martin, I think. Because Bryson Martin was in the first group, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
No, Martin was in the second group.
Martin was in the second. Okay, so Florentino was actually with Gooley, Brandon Gooley.
Yeah.
So I thought Florentino looked good. I really did. I thought he looked pretty good. But my name that I have here from the first group right at the top is Nick Baptiste.
Yeah.
I was not impressed with Nick Baptiste.
Yeah.
And I've seen Nick Baptiste play plenty of times.
Yeah.
Really a good offensive talent, a goal scorer, a pure goal scorer. Not the best of a skater, but that's not really an issue with him. The thing was that going into day one, he just, he made a couple of mistakes early on, and he just looked flustered. He just looked completely out of it, like as if
it may have been like he wasn't ready.
I don't know.
Maybe
you got to be ready. You got to be ready for something like this.
You have to.
You're coming into your first professional year. You got to be ready to go.
Yeah. My immediate thought is maybe he just didn't prepare himself right.
Maybe I don't know, but
he's got a week. He's got the rest of the week to.
I mean, he wasn't getting all of his shots on. He was almost like it was almost coming off as if he like partially fanned on a shot or something like that. He wasn't elevating the puck. His puck control wasn't exactly the greatest. So, I mean, it's not like Nick Baptiste is a bad player. I'm not saying that at all, and I'm not saying that he's going to be a bust or anything like that. Hopefully not. But I wanted to see a little more from Baptiste. I'm hoping that within the next few days we get to see a little more from Baptiste, maybe a little improvement. And again, it's just day one. The other player that I was really upset with, another guy that is going into his first professional year with the second group, I was Justin Bailey. I wasn't impressed with Bailey's play today. And again, nothing against Justin Bailey. He's a very talented guy. It's just, just very similar things. I mean, he didn't look as flustered as Baptiste. It's just, looked like he didn't get all of his shots on net.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And Bailey's not a bad skater. I think he's definitely a better skater than Baptiste. It's just, to me, just looked like he wasn't on top of his game. But again, just day one. We've still got a full, 5-6 days to go. Goes all the way till Sunday. Saturday's an off day.
Yeah.
If you go to sabres.com, they will have the full schedule posted for development camp. So anybody listening could go to sabres.com and can open up a link to the schedule for development camp. I'm going to try. Okay, here it is. Tuesday, on ice skills. 2:30 is the first session tomorrow. I think they're splitting this session up into 3 groups. So on ice skills practice, 2:30 to 6.
Ooh.
Today was 1 to 3, 2:30 to 6 tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's going to be split up into 3 groups. If it's that large of a gap,
Same thing. Yeah.
that there's no way.
It's gonna be like it looks like it's gonna be like that the rest of the week. Because
Yeah.
you mentioned 2:30 to 6 on Tuesday. Wednesday they're going from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Thursday
10:30 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yes, and then Fridays they're having a pre-scrimmage skate from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and then at 7 is the scrimmage.
Yep.
Saturday you mentioned already is an off day, and then Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. they're having the 3-on-3 tournament.
Yep. And then going back to some disappointing players, the rest of the list that I have here of the players that really were just kind of so-so, or a couple of guys that were just, they're AHL guys and they just proved today. It's just, they're probably not going to be more than AHL guys. They're just going to be AHL guys, even ECHLers. And the names Brady Austin, Dan Catenacci, Justin Kia.
Yep.
Kia was probably the better of the 3. The thing about Kia is he's just a big boy. Big boy.
Big boy.
He protects the puck very well.
Yeah.
I just it just seems like, he's not going to be anything more than
Just an AHLer.
Yeah, just an AHLer. And Brady Austin and especially Dan Catenacci today. You got to agree with me. We were watching Catenacci, and it's just, at one point last year, Catenacci was the next player that was going to be recalled because the Sabres were that hurt up in the NHL, and the next best player to call up was Dan Catenacci. And, boy, it seems like every year he gets invited to this. He's been invited to like the past 6 of them or something like that.
It feels like it.
He feels like he's been to every development camp for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
Just every year, he's just there. He's not doing anything flashy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, it just proved to me today that he's not really there. But anyways, we got some breaking news here. Dylan Strome has signed his entry-level contract with the Phoenix Coyotes, the Arizona Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes just tweeted out a photo of Strome signing his entry-level contract. So
there you go. Congrats to him.
I honestly think that the Coyotes, I think that I don't want to say they're going to screw this up like they did, like the Sabres did with Grigorenko, but I think that they're going to probably say, hey, Dylan, you can play in the NHL. Start out in the NHL, and then he's going to play 20 games and have to go back to Erie and burn his first year of his entry level deal.
Yeah. They've done it before. Kyle Turris.
Yes, they did. Kyle Turris. They did. He was not. He wasn't exactly ready.
He just was not ready.
Nope.
They pretty much shot him down any chance they got, and when they did actually send him down, I think they sent him down to AHL. He was great, and then he came back up and he looked so much better. And then they looked like there was promise, but then Turris just didn't want to play there.
Yeah,
because they just weren't using him right, and then he ends up going to Ottawa.
Yeah, and he's actually playing very well in Ottawa.
Yeah, because he actually has
he has got talent around him.
He's got talent. Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing on a line with Mark Stone. That's.
Hey.
Jeez. I was listening back to an episode 2 weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they were talking, and Joe brought up the point that there was discussions with the Ottawa Senators in a Chris Stewart deal that would have brought Mark Stone to Buffalo.
Oh.
I'm thinking, boy, we missed out there.
Yeah, we did.
But you know what? Again, who knows how Mark Stone would have panned out if he had come to Buffalo. Maybe he would have been, just mediocre. Maybe he would have been mediocre with us. Who knows? Who knows? But
I'm looking at Kyle Turris' numbers right now. He was drafted 3rd overall in 2007. He spent a majority of the 2007-2008 season playing for Wisconsin, where he put up 35 points in 36 games. Very impressive right there. He plays for the Coyotes. for 3 games after his season's over. Then plays 63 games for the Coyotes in 2008-2009, thus burning his first year of his entry-level deal. They could have easily he'd been better off just playing in San Antonio. At the time, they were the AHL team of the Coyotes. He puts up 20 points in 63 games, which isn't that bad, but you want to develop your especially because he was your 3rd overall pick in 2007, and they sent him down to San Antonio finally. And he puts up 7 points in 8 games, 4 of them, 4 goals. And then he spends the whole 2009-2010 season in San Antonio, and he puts up and it's a really good season. He puts up 24 goals, 63 points, 76 games. And then he comes right back up to the Coyotes and, 25 points. I'd see 25 points in 65 games. But once again, it's, he's still young, and he's still growing. But at the time, it just feels like he should have been still in the minors, and then he holds out and he gets traded to Ottawa. Now he's just recently had a career year.
By the way, if you ever want to call into the station to give your input on Neutral Ice here, 878-5104 is our number. We also are on Twitter at Neutral Ice WBNY if you want to tweet at us and interact with us. Basically, feel free to reach out to us anytime with any of your comments. And any of your thoughts. We're going to take a quick break here, on 91.3 FM WBNY. But when we come back, we're going to take a look at the free agency frenzy. Who went where? Who got some really good deals? Who overpaid for some players? And who's still available that could be an option for the Buffalo Sabres? But that'll be coming up right here next on Neutral Ice.
You're listening to 91.3 FM WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982. Frank R. Curry, Brayton Wilson here. Neutral Ice is on right now. Once again, no Joe DiBiase. I'm still thinking Derek Kramer's going to call in, but we'll see what happens with that. I like this song, by the way. Where the hell did you find this?
Blue Man Group.
Okay. I like.
It's Blue Man Group. It's great.
Okay.
Blue Man Group's got some really, really cool.
Never heard from them.
You've never heard of Blue Man Group?
No, I've heard of them.
Okay,
I've never just heard the song.
Oh, great. Okay, well, Blue Man Group, just really some good creative stuff.
Yeah.
Always have been, and I've seen them live. They're really good to see live. They're entertaining. If you haven't seen them live, then what are you doing? That is my question. What are you doing not seeing them live? But no, it's all good. If you haven't seen them live, do it sometime. I know that they've got a place in Boston that they perform quite often. That's where I went to see them. Very, very fun. Very, very fun. That's for sure.
Well, nice.
All right.
So,
free
hockey.
agency.
Free agent frenzy was last Wednesday, July 1st, and I'll say not, some interesting signings. We saw Andre Sekera go to Edmonton.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We're going to see what happens there. He signs 6 years at $5.5
First, he
million
complains about Buffalo weather, saying it snows too much.
He's going to Edmonton.
He's going to Edmonton,
where
the
it's
barren wasteland of the NHL, where it snows, from October to freaking April. And you complain about Buffalo? Get it real, Andre Sekera. Come on. Jeez, Reg. My Lord. Anyways, no, I guess 5.5 mil for Sekera. I guess he's a good power play specialist defenseman. He can move the puck very well. The way that he played in Carolina, it was better. He went to LA, kind of underachieved. He was mishandled here in Buffalo horribly.
Yeah.
So I guess Edmonton's got plans for him that, I think Tom McClellan could use a guy like Sekera and probably utilize a guy like Sekera very well, because Tom McClellan was always I always felt that his power play in San Jose was one of the best in the NHL. When he had the talent and when he had, the the right tools and the right pairings.
Yeah.
With right lines in the power play unit. So, we'll see how that works out. I mean, that could be a deal that might bite Edmonton in the end, but who knows?
We'll see what happens. Another former Sabre, I want to say, it really surprised me that he's going here. Mike Neuwirth going to Philly. Honestly, I'll say I did not see it coming.
He's probably not going to start neither.
No, Steve Mason's the starter there.
Unless Steve Mason gets hurt, Michael Neuwirth is probably
He's
going
to be the backup.
He'll probably start at least 25 games.
Yeah.
I could see him starting 25, maybe even 30 if they struggle. But I don't know why Philadelphia would. I mean, they might struggle a little bit this year. Probably what they've done for the past 3 years with, play most of the year on the edge of the playoffs and then miss out in the last week or two.
Or get in at the last second.
They do have a new coach, so that might, set them back a little bit. But, I mean, they probably won't be set back too much.
Yeah.
They got Sam Moran coming up. He's probably, I think he's playing in the AHL with Lehigh Valley this year.
Yeah. What about
Ivan Provorov? I think he's NHL ready. He's going to play in the NHL this year.
Yeah.
I don't see him going back to Brandon at all. Yeah, Sam Moran's going to be playing in Lehigh.
About Robert Hagg?
Robert Hagg is still he's progressed. Definitely progressed. He's become a better professional athlete or professional hockey player. Would another year in
I was saying, when would you expect him to be in the AHL this year too? Or probably back in Sweden.
I could see him being like half and half.
Okay.
Half and half for sure. Will he be the first recall? Probably not.
No.
Unless people get hurt. He'll probably play sometime in the NHL this year. 69 games last year for Robert Hagg, 20 points, 3 goals, 17 assists. So
that was in Sweden.
Yeah, he's definitely mainly a defensive defenseman.
Yeah. Just like Sam Moran.
Yeah, more about. That's really what Philadelphia needs.
Yeah.
At this point. And Ivan Provorov is a great addition because he's a great two-way defenseman.
Yeah.
He can score, he can make offense happen, he can be strong defensively.
Philly's got another defensive prospect who I like.
Who's that?
He's got a really long last name. I can't think of it right now. Hang on, I'm gonna have to use the good old General Fanager.
Or use Hockey's Future.
Hockey's Future.
All right. Shane Gothersby.
Yes.
Or Gostisbeerhe.
Yeah.
Here.
Something like
Gostisbeerhe. If anybody that's listening in from Philadelphia by chance knows how to pronounce his last name, please give us a call, 878-5104 with the area code 716.
Yes.
And tell us, please, how do you pronounce that name?
Shane.
How do you pronounce his name?
Here. Wait, Shane Gostisbeerhe.
Gostisbeerhe.
I don't
Close enough. Gostisbeerhe is good enough with me.
Yeah.
They also got Travis Sanheim too, who's going to be I think he's going to be a very good two-way defenseman in the NHL.
There's a lot of really good defensive prospects for Philly.
Yeah.
They finally addressed the need.
Yeah, but they didn't address their center's need too much.
No.
Their center depth for
Scott Lawton still needs work.
A little bit. He's getting there.
Cousins still needs some work.
Yeah.
You can only lean on.
They don't have too many wingers.
They traded for Sam Gagner, and why did they do that?
I don't know. When do we ever know what the Flyers are going to do?
Yeah, Hextall, come on.
Let's see. The Flyers really didn't even. The Flyers did make Evgeny Medvedev. They signed him, but that was about a month and a half ago already.
Yeah.
Besides that, they signed a Swiss defender about at the same time. And they signed Colin McDonald, right winger from the Islanders. And then they also just added some depth for the AHL.
Yeah.
One guy that's named that was an AHL or NHLer went to the KHL and came back. Tim Brent. Do you remember Tim Brent?
Man, that name kind of is a little bit familiar, but I've heard the name.
Went to the KHL.
Yeah.
Just recently played for Metallurg Magnitogorsk in the KHL.
Yeah.
Again, if I'm saying Metallurg wrong, give us a call, 716-878-5104. Feel free to yell at us with the correct pronunciations because apparently I couldn't say Scranton Wilkes-Barre earlier today, and I got called out for it. But who cares? Anyways, yeah, so Tim Brent, 31 years old, center, coming back to play in the NHL once again. His last stint in the NHL came, I believe, with the Carolina Hurricanes.
In the shortened season.
Yes, in the shortened lockout season, 2012-2013. He only had 3 assists in 30 games. In his most recent year with Magnitogorsk, he had 15 points in 42 games. Not the greatest of stats. But, Brent is, he's nothing more than probably a third-line center at best.
Yeah.
Fourth liner. So
he's depth, right? He's depth for the team.
He's definitely depth of the team. He's a veteran presence that will be good for the young talent in Lehigh Valley for the Phantoms there. But, I mean, bring Tim Brent up to the Flyers. He'll only be a fourth liner.
Yeah.
I don't see him fitting anywhere else. One signing that I thought was very, very interesting. I'm trying to find it here. Can't remember. Trying to flash back to when it happened and why I was so intrigued about it.
Was it Fedotenko?
No, it wasn't Fedotenko. Fedotenko has been in the Minnesota Wild system.
Yeah,
he was there last year. He's not going anywhere.
I know.
I can't remember.
Is it Cody Hodgson?
Cody
Going
Hodgson
to
actually will
Nashville.
probably play very well with Nashville.
Probably.
He probably
I think
will.
So, yeah.
Because Peter Laviolette will actually use his offensive skill and probably put him
And
in
use
the
him on
right
the wing.
situations. Use him on the wing. Probably put him on the power play in the second unit.
Yeah.
It's not that. I mean, again, if you. And this is why I always face palm myself with a guy like Ted Nolan, because Cody Hodgson is not a defensive player.
No, he's not.
So what are you doing putting him on defensive faceoffs or in the defensive zone in the first place? You got to put him in the offensive zone. You got to put him on the wing. You got to put him in positions where he can score and get pucks to the net. And you can't just expect him to jump into a defensive role because he is not a defensive player.
He's not. No, I completely agree.
And, it's unfortunate for him because that's another example of a player that's brought in and just completely mishandled.
Yeah.
Sekera, Grigorenko, and Cody Hodgson, all mishandled. Now they're off to better places, probably. Although Grigorenko's situation is a little up in the air as of right now.
Because he still hasn't signed.
Yeah. It's either he's going to play in Colorado or he's going to play in Russia with CSKA, I think. I think it is CSKA. Yes, CSKA in the KHL is looking to sign Hodgson. Apparently they have offered him one final deal, and if he doesn't sign it, then Grigorenko will probably play in the NHL because no other team, CSKA, will not offer him another deal unless they trade his rights to somebody else.
Yeah,
which could be. You never know in the NHL these days. Oh, I know who it was that I was intrigued by. Antoine Vermette.
Going back to
Arizona. I really am surprised that he's going back to Arizona because of the fact it's just like you won your Stanley Cup. I know, you're 32 years old. I honestly thought he was going to go somewhere else. He got the exact same term that he did with his previous contract, $3.75 million, signed over 2 years with Arizona. This one, it's not a bad thing. It's just I was just, a little thrown off by this because I didn't expect Vermette to go back to Arizona. I thought he would have wanted to go somewhere
where he could win another.
Yeah,
cup.
exactly. But I guess I guess he wanted to go back and anchor the young talent there.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be a bad thing.
It's not that
bad.
bad.
If you have Dylan Strome, I bet Antoine Vermette would be a really good guy to learn from if you're Dylan Strome.
Yeah.
Him, I guess Shane Doan as well, but Shane Doan's not a center. But because Dylan Strome, he's 6'3". Yeah, Marty Hansel's another good one. I'm still so high on Mikkel Bodker. I want Mikkel Bodker so bad.
I really like him.
I like Bodker. He was hurt a lot of the year this past year. Half the season he missed. He's not a flashy type of player, but he's just, he gets you production when you need it. It's from Denmark, too. We don't have a player from Denmark. Why not just bring a player from Denmark onto the team? Sure, why not?
He is a restricted free agent.
He's a restricted free agent. They haven't signed him yet. They have qualified him, apparently, but he hasn't signed his qualifying offer yet. They think he may go to arbitration. And if he's awarded a lot of money, they're not going to let him go for free agency. They're probably going to, the unrestricted free agency, they're probably going to trade him if he's awarded that much money. But then again, the Coyotes have to get to the cap floor, so they might just sign him to that 1 or 2 year contract.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm pretty sure that if Buffalo were to trade for him, Coyotes would probably get a good deal in return. Probably, I would say Coyotes would probably ask, this is my opinion, they'd probably ask for a, higher up prospect who could be ready a year down the road and maybe a draft pick or an NHL player that's already in the league right now.
Someone who's kind of young too.
Yeah, younger for sure. I'm just trying to brainstorm an idea here for trades.
The problem is though, where would he fit?
I don't know,
because he is a left winger.
But then again, you got a lot of forwards who are versatile that can switch to the right wing. I mean, Marcus Foligno's done it.
Yeah. But then, but then based on what we have now, it would push someone else. Like right now, the way it's almost seeming like
I think Bodker's even played some right wing with the Coyotes too. He's listed as a left winger, but I think he's played some right wing. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. I typically see him on the left side though.
Yeah. I mean, Bodker's definitely a good second, third line winger, whether he's on the left or right. Doesn't really matter. You could swing another left winger for Bodker just to compensate for that. Coyotes might take it.
Yeah.
Who you give up?
We'll have to see.
I don't know.
You'd have to see.
You could swing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was thinking about this in my head, and I don't know why I didn't say this, 2 minutes ago, but this was a deal that I kind of swung in my head right now. Was you trade Mikkel Bodker to Buffalo? Buffalo gives up in return Marcus Foligno and a conditional pick, because I believe Bodker was a year before Foligno in the draft, so Marcus Foligno is younger. Don't quote me on this because I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Which was nothing. Yes, he was drafted a year later, 8th overall in 2008. Mikkel Bodker was, and Foligno was drafted in 2009.
Yeah.
In his NHL career, Bodker has 174 points, 67 goals in 383 NHL games, which is decent. His Corsi rating and his possession numbers. Bodker's actually probably one of the better possession number players on the Coyotes over the past couple of seasons. Right up there with Martin Hanzal. I don't think Antoine Vermette was up there because he was just thrown in so many situations. That's usually what happens when you're the two-way center that Vermette is. You just get thrown out there in any situation. You're expected to play it the best you can.
You do.
And Marcus Foligno. My computer will go faster here. Okay, Marcus Foligno. In his NHL career, he has 70 points in 192 games, 26 goals.
Yeah.
So, he's a year younger. Actually, technically 2 years younger, because Bodker's 25 and Foligno's only 23. Foligno's 6'3", 227 pounds. Bodker's 6 foot, 212 pounds. You still don't got a lot of, you still don't know what's going to exactly happen with Foligno because he had when he first came into to the NHL, he had 13 points in 14 games.
Well, yeah, because him, Ennis, and Stafford went on that run together.
Right. And then Foligno played 47 games the next season in the shortened lockout season and had 18 points. And then since then he had 19 last year, or 2 years ago. And then this past year was 20.
But that was a 57 games.
Yeah.
So that's
but again, Foligno's been
Foligno
hurt.
he has been hurt. He's never played a its closest full season was the lockout year.
And I'm sure the Coyotes would be willing to throw Foligno in that spot where Bodker was. The thing is,
My other thing though is I don't think that they would want to trade him.
Marcus Foligno?
No, Bodker.
Bodker?
Yeah, because Marcus Foligno and Marty Hansel are pretty similar in their kind of games. I think Hansel's a lot better offensively, but Hansel's 6'6". He's a big guy, very big guy. Foligno is also a big guy at 6'3", and Hansel is a really good center. And we know Marcus is, he has played center, but he's a better winger, obviously. And I think, especially with a guy like Marty Hansel, if you got a future number one center in Dylan Strome and you have like a Marty Hansel playing right behind you, Marcus Foligno is a guy you would probably want on your third line, playing with a smaller third line guy, a little more offensively capable guy for a third line. And a Bodker, he's a perfect guy to put on your second line with the big Marty Hansel. That's why they've always been together, because that's worked so well together. You just got to put another offensive guy with them, and they may have that in a Christian Dvorak.
They might, yeah.
We don't know.
Christian Dvorak's not NHL ready right now.
No
way.
No.
He's going to need at least a couple years in the AHL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But for the future wise too, that's what Arizona's got to be hoping for, because then you got your potential first line of a Duclair, Domi, Strome line.
You see, I think that they could make Bodker flexible, because you got a kid like Max Domi who's near close NHL ready. I mean, he was playing phenomenal.
He could be in the NHL next season.
Oh, I think he could easily be in the NHL next year. He may have his growing pains, of course, but I think that Max Domi is pretty darn close to NHL ready, because he was darn close to being NHL ready, this past year.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the Coyotes roster. I mean, they don't have left wing. They don't have really that many left wingers currently, according to their website. They don't have too many left wingers in the NHL. I'm looking at some of the free agent signings that they made. They signed Matthias Plachta to an entry-level contract, 1 year.
Yeah.
AHLer. Nothing much.
You had
they did re-sign Craig Cunningham.
Yeah.
He was mainly third or fourth line winger, though.
That's all he is.
No, exactly.
They brought in Brad Richardson. They brought back Zivnik McCulloch, which is, as you mentioned, bringing a guy back like for Matt. They brought McCulloch back.
Yeah. They their prospect depth. I mean,
they
Max
signed Andres Lindback too.
Yeah. They also have. I mean, here's a big name that we forgot to mention. They have Anthony Duclair. Exactly. Anthony Duclair is probably going to play in the NHL next year.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, he started out the year with the Rangers, then went back to Quebec because the Rangers were like, oh, crap, we don't want to ruin him. And then, they ended up trading him anyways.
Yeah.
They also have Michael Bunting from Sault Ste. Marie, probably.
They also have Brendan Perlini.
Brandon Perlini, yep. I mean, their left wing depth. I mean, a lot of these guys they could play. I mean, they're flexible. I mean, you've seen Max Domi play center, left wing, right wing. He could play just about any forward position. Anthony Duclair's definitely more of a left winger. I don't see him playing any other really important position. Yeah. Christian Dvorak, again, left wing, right wing. I've seen him play on the right wing. He played some right wing when he was in London.
Yeah.
Because Mitch Marner was playing at center, and then it was Dvorak on the right side and Domi on the left side. Let's see, who else? Lucas Lecchio. He's played in the NHL sometime.
Did.
But I just don't see him more than a third line left winger. Jordan Mutnik, again, same thing. Nothing more than a third liner. And besides that, their depth there is so-so. If they get a guy like Marcus Foligno, though, right now, they bring some size. They bring some size that's actually, bigger than what you have in Mikhail Bodker. Some physicality, some grittiness, and a guy who has shown some flashes of he can score goals, he can be productive.
Yeah.
Put him in the right situation, get him the right talent. He's not afraid to go after guys and protect his own teammates, as we saw with the Brian Giunta hit when Matt Bartkowski hit him back in December. Foligno broke his hand on that fight, but I mean, it was a dirty hit. Obviously, it was missed, and Foligno came in, stepped up for his teammate, and broke his hand. But that's part of the game.
That's what he does.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, there's nothing really you can do about that. I'm also looking at we were looking at the Coyotes prospects on coyotes.com. I'm looking at the hockey's future for their left wing depth. I mean, they got Lashio, Duclair, Pierre Lenny, Dvorak, Cunningham. They also have a few other guys listed here, but nothing of significance.
Yeah.
And they have Max Domi listed as a center. He can play any forward position.
Yeah.
So, I think that, especially with the depth at left wing that the team has, they might have some flexibility to move somebody. And Foligno, we know he can
right
transition.
Now, for right now, though, I think Bakker is a guy that they want to keep because, like I said, they have the depth at left wing, but they got to develop it first.
But what happens if he hits arbitration and they're not willing to pay that money for him if he's awarded like a significant amount?
It's depend on how much.
It depends on how much exactly, but
I wouldn't.
I'm just speaking hypothetical here.
Yeah. I don't see Bakker getting a whole lot of money.
I don't either, but.
Yeah. I mean,
weirder things have happened.
Brain Holtby's going to arbitration, too. He's probably the biggest name going to arbitration, along with Derek Stepan.
Yeah.
Those are guys who are going to get money.
Mm-hmm.
Gustav Nyquist, too, is another one that's going there. Yep. I know Phil Veroni's going there. I don't know why.
Well, Matthew Collar brought it up to me earlier, and because I was almost the same way. It's just like, Phil Veroni going to arbitration? Why? Because guys in the AHL are getting paid, $300,000, $400,000 per season.
Yep.
Phil Veroni was only getting paid like $60,000 in his AHL contract. So that's why he's going to arbitration, is because he was an all-star this past year in the AHL.
Yeah. He's
definitely AHL talent, like good AHL talent. NHL talent, he still needs work. Could he? I don't see it, but there's a possibility. It's just, it's got to be, he's got to get paid more in the AHL. And I completely understand now when Collar told me that. So, I completely understand. But yeah, at first I was like the same thing. It was just like, why? He's going to arbitration? What is he doing going to arbitration? He's not going to get $1 million in the NHL. It's like, no, it's just he wants more money in the AHL. He's not going to get anything spectacular in the AHL, but there's guys that are getting paid $300,000, $400,000, but, Phil Veroni is clearly just as good as they are.
Yeah.
So that's completely understandable. When you're getting heavily underpaid, grossly underpaid in the AHL, when you're actually one of the better players, and then they don't want to pay you that much, then okay, well, I want to prove to you that I'm worth that much.
Yeah.
Okay. 878-5104 is our number here if you ever want to give us a call. This is Neutral Ice here on 91.3 FM WBNY. We're talking over some free agent signings. We were talking about development camp earlier. Going back to development camp real quick, one player that I was actually very impressed with and was at a camp invite, besides Josh Stirk, David Henley.
What'd you like about him?
David Henley, he is a big kid out of Charlottetown in the Quebec Major Junior League. There we go. EliteProspects.com has a lot of names. They got a lot of players. Henley, 6'4", 203 pounds. He was undrafted this year. He was draft eligible, undrafted. I like Henley's skating. I like his physicality. Of course, he has always room for improvement. His physical size is pretty good. His brother was actually drafted by the Sabres in 2010, Cedric Henley.
Oh, okay.
And Cedric, I believe, retired due to concussions,
injuries,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, injuries. And also David has a brother, Sam, who's playing in San Antonio with the Rampage in the AHL.
Okay.
So, I would love to see David Henley get a shot. Big defender. If he continues to impress, I don't know if he's going to get offered an entry-level deal with the Sabres or anything like that. He may go back to Charlottetown, continue working on his game, and then if something improves, then, he might be able to. But, Henley's a guy that wasn't afraid to fight, wasn't afraid to hit, and it shows 123 penalty minutes in 64 games. So
he's an enforcer.
Yeah, not really an enforcer. I mean, he's definitely like a he's definitely. I mean, I could see him if he makes the NHL 5'6" defender.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, it's a project. He's a project. I think he would be worth the look. I think he would be worth the time to try and develop into something. I mean, at one point he was ranked pretty high amongst the prospects, but again, this year, for whatever reason, he took a step back. I don't know why, but I mean, he was ranked in I believe he was ranked in the top 100 very early in the season, like almost before the season started, I think. And then just progressively fell back and went undrafted. But no question, I think the potential's there. His size is pretty good. He could bulk up a little bit more. I mean, I bet he could be 6'4", and I bet he could get up to at least 220, 225.
Oof.
I mean, if that happens and whoever, decides to give him a chance and he pans out that way, what a steal. What a steal.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just glad that he's here because, I think that they also, I mean, I don't know if drafting his older brother had anything to do with it, but, I mean, I think that Henley might be one player who went undrafted to keep an eye out on.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
That's
I see what you're saying.
I say.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Then
indeed.
I'll be sure
and
to
what
keep an
I
eye out on
say goes.
because Brayton is always right.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not always right. I'm not always right. I mean, I will be the first to admit that. Sometimes I make myself look like a fool. Anyway, speaking of, I don't even know what speaking of, anyways. But speaking of, okay, we're gonna go with speaking of local hockey news. Former now Buffalo State College head coach Nick Carrier is leaving Buffalo State.
Yes.
To accept an assistant coaching job with the St. John's Ice Caps.
The now AHL affiliate of the Montreal Canadiens.
Yes, exactly. So Nick Carrier
that is
coached 10 years here at Buffalo State.
Got him to the playoffs 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
And plenty of second round semifinal appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, you all consistently losing to teams like Oswego, Plattsburgh.
Yeah.
But he did something. He did things that no other coach for Buffalo State men's hockey's done, and you gotta give him props for that. I know he's been known to push the buttons a lot with his players, but to go from Division III college to the AHL is a major
huge
step.
leap. It's a huge leap because
Yeah.
you don't hear many Division III coaches going from there to the AHL almost immediately.
Yeah.
It's so unheard of. But Nick Carrier, great job. Congratulations to you if you're listening in. First of all, thank you for listening in. But second of all, congratulations and best of luck in St. John's. I heard it's very cold up there. St. John's. It's right. I mean, it's the furthest point. I believe it's the furthest point east in Canada.
Yeah.
I think that's where that one runner who, what was his name? I can't remember his name, but I think he had some sort of condition where he wanted to run from the east side of Canada all the way to the west side. He made it past Toronto and into near I guess Owen Sound.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, Owen Sound area of Ontario before he had to stop and he eventually died. But Canadian hero for the guy who did that. But I mean, I think he was a double amputee or something like that. But I mean, it's a great story. Yeah. If you haven't heard about it, I think they did a 30 for 30 special on ESPN about him. But true inspiration. But St. John's is the furthest point east in Canada. It's where he dipped his foot into the water there and then ran out and started going. So, but it's, I mean, great documentary. I can't remember what it's called, but good for Nick Carrier going to the AHL. I mean, coming full circle here, Nick Carrier again. Congratulations. And another note here, Matthew Strome, the youngest brother of the Stromes, committed to the Hamilton Bulldogs of the Ontario Hockey League today. In case people didn't know, Hamilton is now in the OHL after the Canadians elected to go with St. John's as their AHL affiliate.
Yeah.
And then St. John's, the Ice Caps, they went from Winnipeg.
They went
from St. John's to Winnipeg, and
Yeah.
they're now the Manitoba Moose with the Jets. But
Yeah.
they still keep the team in St. John's. They're still the Ice Caps, but now they're under a different affiliation.
Basically. And then Hamilton pretty much goes from an AHL team to an OHL team.
Which is not a bad thing.
No.
Hamilton's arena is actually decent size. I think it's actually one of the biggest arenas in the OHL now. I mean, I think they had the AHL All-Star game there a few years back. It's a decent sized arena. It really is. A lot of people were saying, hey, maybe an NHL team could be put in Hamilton. And it was like, probably not.
NHL's never going to do it.
Probably not.
NHL's never going to do it.
The first Ontario arena, let's see. I'm trying to look it up here.
NHL's never going to do it.
No.
But Hamilton now being an OHL team, it takes the place of Bellevue, because the Bellevue Bulls kind of ceased to exist now.
Yeah. Hamilton's...
Well, what was it? Because Bellevue and the Plymouth Whalers were the teams that relocated.
Yep. They now became the Flint Firebirds. Plymouth did.
Bellevue,
Flint Firebirds.
What a name. What a name.
It's an odd name. I would have loved it if they went to the tropics.
Everyone wanted that.
Oh, everybody did.
I get why they didn't do it, though.
To answer my question earlier, the first Ontario Center in Hamilton fits 17,000 people.
Wow.
That's NHL size.
That's an NHL arena.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is it's older. It was opened in 1985.
Okay.
And I don't think that the NHL nowadays would want to go to an older arena. That's why Seattle can't. They're going to put a bid for an NHL team, but they need a new arena. It's just that.
Yeah.
Seattle, I want to say that Seattle, it's what, the Key Arena or something like that in Seattle?
I don't remember.
I think it is. Yep, Key Arena. Seattle, 15,000 people for ice hockey. They definitely need a new arena. Because Seattle Supersonics were there for the longest time.
Yep.
And, they just need they need a bigger arena. The Seattle Thunderbirds used to play there until 2009.
Yep.
I really think that's the only place that they could really go at this point. I think that the Seattle Thunderbirds arena is too small as well.
And because now they play outside of Seattle, where they play in I think it's a suburb,
something like that. The ShoWare Arena, hockey, 6,500 people.
Yeah,
way too small. Way too small. I mean, to have an NHL arena nowadays, you have to have at least 15,000 or more seating capacity. I mean, the MTS Center, I believe, is the smallest NHL arena.
It is.
But one of the greatest NHL arenas at this point. 15,294. So actually, the Key Arena can fit more. No, less. Not by much, though. Not by much. 15,177 at Key Arena. MTS, 15,294.
That's not bad.
So, like 100 and,
That's not that bad.
117.
That's not that bad.
No, it really isn't that bad. But again, the Key Arena is older. It was opened in 1962.
Ooh.
Yeah. They need a new arena.
That's why they need a new arena.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, it was renovated recently in 94, 95.
That's 20
But
years
apparently
ago.
they're trying to renovate it again.
Oh.
According to Wikipedia, I know it's a horrible source to get information.
Yeah.
But apparently construction cost now $119 million in 2015.
That's all I gotta say.
Correction. It's in 2015, like the term, like dollars now. If you compared it to 95 when it was last renovated to now, it was $119 million.
Okay.
Would have been $119 million. So they are not renovating it right now. I misunderstood that. So, yeah, I mean, you just gotta move. You gotta make a new arena, or you gotta make a renovations again. But it's just,
If Seattle gets an NHL team, it's going to take a while.
Oh yeah. I think they're almost more likely to.
I mean, you want to go with expansion? The process has begun.
Yeah. Already one city is pulled out. They're not going to put in a bid. It's Kansas City. Thank God, because I don't think Kansas City would be able to.
Big surprise.
I definitely think Vegas is going. You would have to think
Vegas is number one.
Vegas is going to get a team.
It's number one.
It's like 90. I'm 98% sure they're going to get an NHL franchise.
Yeah.
And then after that,
it's up in the air.
Seattle, Quebec City.
Yeah.
Quebec City would be a great place, but the problem is that you'd have to realign again. You'd have to send somebody from the west, the east to the west.
That's why I feel like that they're
relocation would probably be a better situation for Quebec.
I still feel like Florida's going to relocate there. I still feel it.
Florida would probably be the team to relocate first, even over Arizona.
Yeah.
The NHL is desperately trying to keep them in Arizona. The city of Phoenix is offering to make accommodations to have the Coyotes in the city of Phoenix, which I think is great. I'm almost wondering, though, if they're doing that just because they might get Austin Matthews next year. It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible they got a tank. It's not easy to tank in this draft because it's the top 3 picks that are going to be in the lottery up for grabs. It's possible, though. It really is. I mean, they could win the draft lottery. They can win Austin Matthews, or they could trade up and get Austin Matthews.
Yep.
That might be something. Whoever gets the first overall pick might trade with Arizona to get Austin, and Arizona might get Austin Matthews. We were just talking about it. Arizona has a ton of prospect depth, especially on the forward spot, left wing spot. If they really, really, really want Austin Matthews, they've got some pieces to move. Their defensive prospects, not so good. Their goaltending prospects, again, not great.
No.
That's interesting, though. I would be very, very interested to see if the Coyotes can swing a deal somehow like that.
Well, we'll have to wait a year.
Exactly. We'll have to wait a year. It'll be fun, I think. Oh, this is interesting. Prospect captain there for the Edmonton Oilers. They had their prospect game or scrimmage today.
Oh.
And Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl were the 2 captains of both prospect teams.
Yeah.
You almost suspected Connor McDavid was going to be a captain, though. You had to.
Come on.
Connor McDavid.
Come on.
Again, we said it many times on the show.
It's like with Eichel and Reinhart too. It's like those are going to be the captains for the blue and gold scrimmage.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's the same thing.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing.
But the thing is, when Gianta decides to step down as captain or decides to step away from hockey or go to another team, whatever he may do in the next 2 years.
When he's done.
When he's not there.
When he's done here.
Who is the next captain? Who would be your next captain? Because people want Girgensons to be the captain.
Yeah.
Sam Reinhart has been the captain of Kootenay ever since before he was drafted in Buffalo.
Yep.
The past 2 years he's been captain, and not only that, but he had a year of an early exemption. He got exemption from the Canadian Hockey League to play a year early.
Yeah.
And then Jack Eichel was captain of
Team
USA at the World Juniors, and he's he's easily captain material. I think he was, if I'm correct, he was captain of his of the U.S. development program beforehand. I'm looking it up right now. Let's see, what else was he captain? He was captain of the Boston Junior Bruins when he was there playing before he went to the U.S. national program. He was an alternate captain at the under-17 World Junior Championships. And then he was an alternate captain for the under-18 World Junior Championships. And then World Junior Championships this past year, he was a captain. He's got the leadership credentials, I think.
Yeah.
He's got the level head. He's got the skill. He's got. I think it's all there for him. I think it's all there for him. It's all there for Sam Reinhart, and it's all there for Zemgus Girgensons.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something though? If 2 years from now,
battle for the captaincy.
Oh my God, 3 captains instead of 2, it's 3. Reinhart, Eichel,
Girgensons and Eichel.
Girgensons. Yeah, that would be. Oh my God,
That would be another one where they're just not going to name a captain. They're just going to give all three of them the alternates.
that might be a more logical thing to do. Honestly, it might be a better thing to do. Just be like, okay, we're not going to name a captain. You three are the alternate captains. That's it.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe
now be leaders.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you make a veteran to an alternate captain, or you make the veteran the captain, and then you have all three of them be alternate captains, and then play it from there.
Option too.
It is an option, but again, we're 2 years away. Brian Giunta, I believe he's got a no trade clause this year, and then he's got a limited no movement clause in his final year of his contract, which I really don't think Giannis is going to be traded at any time soon. Maybe in the trade deadline next year when he's in the final year of his deal.
We'll see.
If he wants to retire and win a Stanley Cup champion, Tim Murray just might trade him to somebody who is a contender and might have a chance. Or Brian Giunta just decides, hey, I'm going to stay home, play out my time here in Buffalo, and then I'll step down and retire from the league.
Yeah,
which is not a bad solution, not a bad idea, but Brian Giunta, it seems like he's still got a lot of playing to do. I don't think he's going to retire anytime soon whatsoever.
I don't see it either. I'm still kind of thinking though he's going to play out this contract he has right now, and then probably that's it. If anything, maybe one more year.
We've talked about the Coyotes a lot. It seems like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk some Boston Bruins now. Let's talk some Boston Bruins. Come on, let's talk some Boston Bruins.
Let's get some Bruins.
Let's get the music queued up here.
I want to hear it.
This is usually the music we play for the Leafs.
Now we can also play for the Bruins because Don Sweeney.
Yes, Don Sweeney. They actually made a smart move the other day. On the first day of free agency, they traded Riley Smith and the contract of Mark Savard to the Florida Panthers for Jimmy Hayes.
And then
have signed Jimmy Hayes. Yep.
Yeah.
3-year deal. I think he's making $2.23 million per year in the 3 years that he is in Boston. Great trade. Honestly, great trade. Jimmy Hayes, big body. He's got some offensive capabilities.
A lot of potential.
Lots of potential still, even at 25 years old. He's 6'6", 220 pounds. This past year with Florida, he had 19 goals, 16 assists in 72 games. In his NHL career, he has 36 goals in 168 games, 66 points. So he's a goal scorer. I mean, it's clear to say he's a goal scorer. Yeah. He was a former second-round pick by the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2008. Really, really a good trade for the Bruins. And they trade Riley Smith, who's been just kind of okay in his time in Boston. He was very, very hyped up in Dallas. He was part of the Tyler Seguin deal. Comes over to...
He did lead the Bruins in goals in
that is
2013-2014.
That is true, but this year he only had 13 goals, 27 assists in 81 games. It was just an off year.
The Bruins team just doesn't score.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got to have the talent around him in order to be productive.
Yeah.
He'll go to Florida. He'll be part of a really young team there where he might flourish.
Be with guys his own age.
Mm-hmm.
And he might flourish there. He's probably going to play second line.
Second or third line winger.
I can easily see him playing second line with Bukestad.
I could see that too. He's definitely a winger.
Right now, the way it's looking like with Florida, their first line is going to be Barkov's the first line center with Huberdeau and Jaromir Jagr.
I just realized his cap hit. Riley Smith's cap hit, $3.425 million. Oof. I did not realize that. I did not realize that at all.
Him to that last year. Yeah.
Last year. It was a bridge deal.
But you know what? That's good for Florida. Because
Riley Smith is 24 too. 6 foot,
it's good for
185.
Florida though, because I think they had to be at at the floor too.
Yeah, they get Mark Savard's contract.
Yeah, so that helps too.
The Coyotes picked up Chris Pronger's contract. Chris Pronger's going to the Hall of Fame, and he's going to retire as a Coyote basically. Yeah. Woof. Woof. He should just be traded to like I don't know. Hartford. Just trade him to some team that doesn't exist anymore. Like the Hartford Whalers, where he began his career. He can retire as a Whaler.
Yeah.
Go Whalers! Then Boston, of course, they made some crappy deals before. I mean, we talked about the Ronaldo trade. This trade came up the day after we had talked last week. Martin Jones to the San Jose Sharks for a first-round pick and a prospect. Late-round prospect a couple years back. But next year, Boston has 2 more first-rounders.
Yeah.
They're almost in rebuild mode here a little bit. And I really don't... I mean, do you really see Boston being a better team than Buffalo this year? That's my question.
It depends.
Because
they signed Bolesky,
which was actually a
pretty good contract,
decent price. I mean, still $3.8 million for a guy that is unproven.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. I mean, I guess it's better than what he was asking for with $5 million.
Yeah.
If he would have gotten $5 million, I probably would have thrown my computer against the wall.
Me too.
I mean, he was making $1.35 million with Anaheim before he became an unrestricted free agent. Signs with Boston. Some of the other moves that Boston has made, we've talked about this probably a couple of times. Adam McQuaid resigns to a 4-year deal, $2.75 million per year for Adam McQuaid. That's a joke of a contract.
Yeah.
And they signed him after they traded Dougie Hamilton. Like, literally 10 minutes after they traded Dougie Hamilton. Adam McQuaid signed into a 4-year contract, $2.75 million per year.
Ugh.
And it's like,
I'm done.
I'm done. What are you doing?
I'm done.
They also signed Ryan Spooner, re-signed him to a 2-year bridge contract.
Yep.
$950,000 per year. Pretty good.
They re-signed Brett Connolly.
Yes, they did. They just did that today.
We'll see what happens with him. He was
Brett Connolly
he's supposed to be a hyped up guy, and
Brett Connolly was a first-round pick of Tampa Bay.
He was a high pick.
Yeah.
He was a top 10.
I have 6th pick. 6th. And he has played in 139 NHL games, 34 points. 0.24 points per game. That is not worthy of a top 10 pick. Not even close.
No.
His AHL stats have been okay.
Yeah.
52 goals, 68 assists in 137 games. That's not bad. But again, you're only so good. I mean, if you're good in the AHL and you're not good in the NHL, then what purpose do you have in this league? If you're not good in the NHL, then forget it.
Bye-bye.
Forget it. Exactly. Goodbye. So, I don't know about Brett Connolly. He hasn't shown much to me, that he's capable of being a full-time NHL player.
Well, he might get the chance at Boston.
Oh, he's going to get the chance at Boston, obviously, with the new 2-year contract that he signed. But
yeah. Oh, it's 1 year, actually.
Oh, it is only 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Even still.
Yeah.
Even still. And,
and Boston's cap situation is still so shaky.
Terrible. There's just a lot of uncertainty with this team. Yeah, they got 2 of the best. They got really good 1-2 punch at center with Krejci and Bergeron.
Yeah.
But Eriksson, is he going to stay healthy? How's Chris Kelly going to play? He's 34 years old. How's he going to play? Is Connolly going to be good? Is Pasternak going to take a big step up this year? We'll see how Bolesky plays. Where's he going to play? Where's Marchand going to play? Marchand likely is probably going to play first line.
The thing about Boston, they've got some cap space. They've got $5 million worth in cap space.
Yeah.
Not all that much, but it's enough.
Yeah.
They got to fill a goaltender spot, which they're probably going to use with Malcolm Subban.
Likely, unless they sign it back up.
Yeah, but I mean, again, they've got to clear some space. They need depth. And their prospect depth, not great.
No.
Not great at all. Joe Morrow hasn't worked out for them in that trade with Tyler Seguin. Again, the Tyler Seguin trade just biting Boston in the ass.
Yep.
Biting them so hard. They signed Jonas Kemppainen, 27-year-old Finnish player. They signed Nola Akiari, college player. Alex Koklachev has still yet to get his chance.
Yeah.
Anton Blind, Seth Griffith. I mean, these guys are still some time away.
Yeah.
And, what are you doing, Boston? Get on top of it.
Yeah.
One player I think that could have a chance to play in the NHL this year with Boston is Colin Miller. I mean, he was probably a huge part in that Lucic trade. Defensive prospect again. He's not big, but he plays very physical. He plays physical.
They would say he's got a heck of a cannon.
Yeah, got a really good shot.
Yeah.
Good shot. He can play a good two-way game, too. So
Yeah.
I think you can see Colin Miller playing in the NHL at some point this year. Joe Morrow, man.
Ugh.
Joe Morrow.
Disappointment.
Yeah, very much a disappointment. Dallas got rid of him at the right time. But I think that Dallas acquired him in a different deal, too, if I'm not mistaken.
If I think you're right, because that's
Joe Morrow was drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was acquired in the
Brendan Morrow trade.
Yes, Brendan Morrow.
Oh my! They don't.
Oh
have
my
a
is right.
They don't
Oh
have-
my. 6 foot, 196 pounds, and he has he's regressed.
Yeah.
Regressed.
Yeah.
Since coming from
First round pick in 2011.
Yeah.
Another example of Pittsburgh just not drafting well.
And Pittsburgh's not even doing themselves favors. They trade away a first-round pick for Kessel. I mean, they did get better with Kessel, but the thing is that their prospect depth is garbage too. They traded their best prospect.
We talked about this earlier on the Blitz too.
Their
That's
best
all it
prospect is Derek Pouliot now, and
Which isn't
arguably
bad, but after that, no, it's like that. Derek Pouliot's a good best prospect
Yeah.
to have, but after that, what else do they have?
they did have Kasperi Kapanen, but that's now in
that's-
Toronto.
no.
Kapanen and Nylander, that's going to be fun to watch eventually. This year
With Marner?
in Toronto Marlies are going to be fun to watch.
They're gonna be good.
Toronto's still at least 2 years
The
away
Make
from
Me
being a
Laugh
playoff team
stink.
again.
The Make Me Laugh stink, but the Marlies are good.
Penguins prospect depth. Let's take a look here.
Oh,
Tyler
music's
Biggs,
still fitting.
huge underachiever
no.
in Toronto.
No.
Not going to be good.
No, bad.
Bad. This is horrible. This prospect depth for Pittsburgh is terrible. Matt Murray is probably the best goaltender prospect that they have. He played a
Just
really
stop.
good year in AHL.
Okay, but
So he's probably, after Derek Pouliot, probably the next prospect is Matt Murray. And then after that, in my opinion, it would be Brian Dumoulin.
sign him.
And then pick a name out of a hat of
Yeah.
the next prospect after that, because everybody else is just garbage.
why?
Garbage.
Just
And you trade away everybody in your prospect depth to get players that are going to be fine now, but when their contracts come up and you can't afford them, then you're screwed.
yeah.
Pittsburgh's really putting themselves in a hole. They're definitely in a we must win now mode, because if we don't win now, oh no, we're going to be one of the worst teams in the league again. Even if we have Sidney Crosby, even if we have Evgeny Malkin.
Yeah.
And they're trying to trade Malkin too. They were trying to trade Malkin. They might still be trying to trade Malkin. They're definitely going to need top-end prospects in return, and the price is just going to be way, way, way too much to get Evgeny Malkin.
Yeah.
This is perfect music for the Penguins too. All the worst, all the teams with really bad prospect depth. We're just gonna
Boom.
play this
Yeah.
music with them. Did we go over Boston's prospect depth?
I don't
remember if we did, but we're
No.
gonna go over it anyways.
Let's go over it now.
Their prospect depth is much better though.
It's
Much better than
It's
Pittsburgh.
much better.
Their goaltending depth is pretty good with Subban and McIntyre.
Yep.
I want to say they're going to try and trade or sign or do something to get a backup.
Goalie. Yeah.
Nicholas
I would
Svedberg
expect it.
left for the KHL.
Yep.
Their forward depth, their prospect depth for forward, David Pasternak's their top right winger, obviously for the reasons we've seen.
Yep.
Their left wing depth is
No.
not there.
No.
Center depth is somewhat there. They got
It just
Alexander Koklachev. Ryan Spooner's a full-time NHLer now,
Yeah.
so he's technically not a prospect anymore. They got Seth Griffith, Ryan Donato, just projects, still projects. Ryan Fitzgerald, project.
Yeah.
Defense, Joe Morrow,
Bye.
no. Matt Grzelcyk is a prospect to watch, though. He played very well at Boston University, and I believe he's the captain of Boston
He was
University.
the captain, yeah.
Yep. I want to say he is a senior in Boston right now, or he's going to be a senior.
I don't know.
Matt Grzelcyk. He is senior.
Yep.
Senior in this upcoming year. 41 games this past year, 38 points, 10 goals, 28 assists. As the captain, he'll be back next year, being the captain again. Boston native, too. Charlestown, Massachusetts. Boston might have a gem there. Don't want to trade that away.
Yeah.
Don't want to trade that away. If I'm Don Sweeney, which, we don't know who Don Sweeney is because he may be possessed by somebody else that we have no idea who he's possessed by.
Mickey Loomis.
Yeah. Don't trade away Matt Grzelcyk.
No.
Don't trade. Honestly, he's probably your best prospect at this point.
Next thing we know,
besides
tomorrow.
Pasternak.
Next thing we know, tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow they'll trade him to acquire a third-line winger that they think could be a first-line winger, and then just becomes a huge horrible.
No. They're gonna trade Matt Grzelcyk to the San Jose Sharks for the rights to John Scott.
That might be the worst thing I've ever heard out of your mouth, Frank. Might be the worst thing I've ever heard out of your mouth. John Scott,
it's
if he
Don
signs
Sweeney
an
kind
NHL
of thing.
contract this year,
It's a Don Sweeney thing.
oh my God, just stop.
Yeah,
I'm going to stop you right there.
No, I just don't want to see I don't want to see John Scott in the NHL. But it's a Don Sweeney
Nobody
thing.
does. Nobody wants to see John Scott.
Why is Zach Ronaldo still in the NHL?
Because
Why did Don Sweeney give up a third-round pick for him? Because Don Sweeney.
Because
Don Sweeney kind of move.
Because Don Sweeney.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Oh, my God. Oh, man. I'm just looking over some of these other signings.
Going crazy
Let's
here.
talk about some of the Sabres signings that were made.
Signed a lot
Sabres-
of depth.
Yes, they did. Sabres did extend Ryan O'Reilly finally.
Yes.
An interesting contract. However, he is going to be making quite a nice chunk of money over the next 8 years. $6 million from Colorado, and then an additional 7.5 average cap per year from Buffalo.
Yep.
Although most of the money is front-loaded right at the beginning of each year, and then $1 million the rest of the year.
Yep.
They signed Carlo Koliakovo
They signed
to a one-year deal.
Yep, Ryan O'Reilly's brother. Cal
Ryan O'Reilly, Cal. Yep. Cal
For a 2-year
O'Reilly has been
contract.
signed. Jason Atkinson.
Yes.
From Philadelphia organization.
Yes.
Bobby Sanguinetti, who was
Yes.
just on WGR this morning.
Yes.
And then also Matt Donovan, who was part of the 2010 U.S. World Junior Hockey Championship team that beat Canada in Saskatoon, I believe, or Saskatchewan. One of the two. One of the two, indeed. Saskatchewan is the province of Canada. Saskatoon is the city. So it probably was Saskatoon. Whatever. Whatever. Andre Benoit is now a member of the St. Louis Blues. He signed a one-year deal today.
Yep.
Some of the other names that of interest, of course, they did not qualify. Kevin Sundher, Jordan Samuels-Thomas, so they're unrestricted free agents as of right now.
Yep.
None of the Sabres prospects, except for Nathan Lewin, has accepted his qualifying offer and has signed it. That's about it. There's nothing much more.
Buffalo's been quiet.
Yes, they have, and there's nothing wrong with them being quiet either.
No, because they've made their moves.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's look at some of these other signings here. I'm just going down the list here of these big signings from each team. Michael Frolik of the Calgary Flames, and I'm speaking on regards of players that are unrestricted free agents, not restricted free agents, or that were acquired in trades, because obviously Dougie Hamilton is the biggest one. 6 years, $34.5 million that they re-signed him to. Frolik is obviously 5 years and $4.3 million per year, which is a good acquisition for them. Makes their offense just even that much more lethal. Real quickly, some of the other signings. Victor Tikhonov makes his return to the NHL after like a 5-year stint in the KHL. Signs with Chicago. Francois Beauchemin goes to Colorado. Brandon Saad, of course, we've missed the Brandon Saad trade. He was traded to Columbus. He's got signed to a new deal. Gregory Campbell signs.
$6 million for Saad.
Yep. Gregory Campbell
Deli.
signs. Antoniemi signs after being
Dallas.
acquired at the draft. Mike Green and Brad Richards go to Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit finally gets that right-handed defenseman.
Yes, they do. Mark Letestu goes to Edmonton. Florida's just signing AHLers at this point. Jonas Enroth goes to LA, 1-year deal, $1.25 million. Nobody of significance. The only person that's been of significance in Minnesota that was re-signed was Devin Dubnyk. Montreal hasn't done anything new lately.
Except
Nashville
trade for Zach Cassian.
Yeah.
Ha!
Trade away Brandon Pruss. That was probably the best thing that they did, though, because Brandon Pruss is becoming a joke in the NHL. Exactly. Nashville, they signed Barrett Jackman and Cody Hodgson.
Re-signed Ribeiro.
Whoop-de-doo. Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
John Moore was signed by the Devils. Nothing more really after that. I mean, we've covered a good
Parento
chunk of
was
it.
bought up by Montreal. Signed
Joel
with Toronto.
Ward has signed with San Jose as well as Paul Martin. St. Louis has re-signed Robert Bertuzzo of one name.
Kuznetsov just today too re-signed with Washington.
Yep.
Kadri re-signed with
Toronto.
Matthias signed with Toronto.
Toronto making some interesting moves, re-signing Daniel Winnick, signing P.A. Parento, bringing in Matt Hunwick, Mark Arcabello, the United States hero.
Yes.
God bless America.
Sean Matthias.
Happy
as well.
belated Independence Day, everybody.
Yes.
Speaking of which. And Justin Williams is the last big signing that we'll mention. Washington gets a nice 2-year deal.
And then they also traded for TJ Oshie.
Yep. Yes, and that was a pretty good trade for them.
That was a really good trade.
All right. Well, this has been Neutral Ice here. Brayton Wilson, Frank Arcury. We did not have Joe DiBiase or Derek Kramer on today, unfortunately, but hopefully they'll be back next week. Next week is going to be some time off. Basically, development camp's over, and then
just
from there,
development camp.
we recap development camp. We maybe recap some other signings, and then from there, we wait.
Yep.
We wait
it's
and
pretty
see.
much, hey.
I'm pretty sure that after next week, we're probably going to take at least a week or two off here and there.
Yeah.
I'm sure because the NHL season's slowing down. If something comes up, then we'll obviously be in. But, 91.3 FM WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982. It's brought to you by the Buffalo State College Student Activity Fee. Jason's going to be coming on with movies up next. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget to be sure to follow us on Twitter at NeutralizeWBNY. I am on Twitter at BJ Wilson WGR. Frank is on Twitter at Frank Arcury. 878-5104 is our number. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in to Neutral Ice. We will see you again next week.